Guys, I want to thank you for joining our info session tonight. This is for our Tokyo spring break trip that we curated, especially for our families with teens. We realize that travel for our families with teens looks a lot different, and we've identified Tokyo as being one of those favorited destinations for our young adults, for our young people. So I'm excited to present this to you. Um, we do have a couple of different things we're going to go over on this call. First and foremost, we'll talk a little bit about what this experience is all about, what your days would look like in Tokyo, how you actually spend your time. We'll also go over how the trip is structured. Additionally, we'll look at some sample pricing in case you have some questions about that. If you decide to move forward, we'll also have some special opportunities for you. And then also we have opportunities for you to ask some questions and go over some frequently asked questions that tend to come up for some of our trips. I love to know if this is your first time. I know we do have a few repeat guests. Whitney is joining us. This is Whitney. What number trip is this again? Is this would this be number 5 or
This
4?
is 4. We didn't get to go to Dubai, which I'm still mad about.
Okay. No worries, no worries. So yes, yes. So I'm excited. We do have a returning client on the call. This is trip number 4 with us. Very, very honored to be able to offer these experiences for families such as the Jackson family. So yeah, we'll definitely go into some of those questions some folks may have if this is your first time joining us on a Mocha travel trip, or if you just have questions, general questions about the destination. So I do want to talk a little bit about who we are and what we do. Apologies, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Katrina Morrison, for those that I have not met. I am the founder of Mocha Travel. I've been in the travel industry for well over 20 years. Mocha Travel, I created Mocha Travel as a way to make international travel easier and more accessible for our families. From being in the travel industry, I would go to travel to a whole bunch of different destinations with my family, and rarely did I see families that looked like ours. I started blogging about travel as a way to introduce some easy ways or some tips about different destinations. But for me, blogging wasn't enough to make an impact to allow more families to travel. So I took it a step further and I started creating group trips and inviting families to join me on these trips. And so this is how Mocha Travel got started. So we create fully hosted experiences where everything is basically handled for you. We take the stress out of planning travel. Families, it can be rather complicated to plan trips to destinations such as Tokyo. So we take all of the stress out of it. And this is exactly what we specialize in. Now, some of these logos down here, these are some of the different organizations that myself or Mocha Travel are affiliated with. We are IATA accredited agency. We are also a women-owned national accredited agency, which is something I'm very proud of. We're located here in Atlanta, and we are a member of the Atlanta Black Chambers. All right, so what this experience is all about. So hopefully this presentation, you'll get to find out whether or not this trip is for you, right? So this is a fully hosted group travel, which means that you have someone that travels with you, someone from Mocha Travel that travels with you to ensure all of the logistics are managed on this trip so you can enjoy it along with your family. It's designed to give you structure without making the trip feel too rigid or too boxed in. And it's specifically built for families with teens and preteens. It's designed for the way older children like to travel, older kids like to want to experience Tokyo. It's already one of their favorited or popular destinations amongst that generation. They'll be able to explore different neighborhoods, experience the food, and just really appreciate and vibe off the overall energy of the city. So one thing I do always like to point out is this trip may not be for everyone. So let's talk a little bit about who this trip is designed for, right? So this trip is designed for families who want more than just your typical vacation, right? So we know how easy it is, especially if you live next to a major airport, how easy it is to buy some tickets, jump on a plane, take a cruise, go to the Caribbean. This is not that type of experience. This is an experience for families that want something more, something extraordinary, want a destination for their kids that actually truly engage and fully immerse themselves in and have a really good experience. This is especially for those traveling with preteens and teens, and they want something that they can actually enjoy. And this is also for those families that value having a structured itinerary as well as some built-in free time to explore the city on your own and also premium accommodations, right? So this trip may not be for you if you prefer to kind of have DIY experiences, or maybe you want something that is fully independent and you may not want to have a guide or may not want to travel with other families that have children the same age. Or if you want something really much more fast paced and a packed itinerary, this may not be your trip. So I do want to point out, we do have some testimonials. If you ever want to hear from families such as yourself, we do have plenty of reviews on Google. You can check us out. I do have some here. This is from Chandra. She traveled with us to South Africa, and she's actually going with us in a few months. We have another trip to Japan. So she's traveling with us to Japan, and she basically points out that it was a perfect tailored experience, and we were truly able to incorporate her children in that experience. So a little bit about what this experience will look like. It is designed to give you some structure again, but without making you feel boxed into to the trip. You're going to explore some of Tokyo's iconic neighborhoods. You'll have some guided experience along with free time, time for leisure, time to do the things that you want to do with your teen, or just for your teen to hang out with other teens. There's also some optional activities that we offer our clients to add on to their experience, such as team labs or Disney or day trip to Kyoto. There's tons of different activities that you can include or add on to your package in addition to what we offer in your package. Now, the pace of the trip, it is designed to be intentionally paced. It's not rushed. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to enjoy the hotel if you want to just relax, do more leisure or more laid back things, or if you want to go out at night into Shibuya's district or any of the other districts where it's very safe and very family friendly for kids to go and hang out. You're welcome to do that because there is time built in to do that. So do I have any questions so far? So I love to know if you can put in, if you're not driving, if you're in a safe situation. I love to know the ages of your teens, the ages of your teens, ages of your children, preteens, however, whatever age they are. I love to know, get an idea of the parents in the room. And while you're typing that in, I'm going to move on. So here's really an idea or an overall idea of what your days will actually look like in Tokyo. So we do have a daily itinerary again with some leisure time in there and a full leisure day. But included in that package or included in your itinerary, we're going to explore some of Tokyo's most exciting neighborhoods, which is really at the top of the list for many of our preteens and teens. You do have the option to add Tokyo Disney. Tokyo Disney Sea is also pretty popular and unique for Disney. Teen Lab, which is a digital art experience, which is also pretty popular. Those are optional items. We also have included time for an immersive samurai and ninja experience at a museum, which is more than just a museum, which is why I don't even really like to use the word museum because it really is more of an immersive experience where you get to try, or the teens and the adults get to try on the different outfits or the clothing that was worn and try different moves and just learn about that culture and lifestyle of the samurai and ninjas during this in Japan. There's also plenty of time to shop. Whitney and I shared some jokes earlier this week about that shopping experience. I can't wait for you guys to see it. There's lots of shopping. There's time to explore, and there's time to just really enjoy the food and the scenery. And then one of the biggest things that, you know, it's not often, I haven't really talked about in this trip, but I will bring it up, is we're going to be going during cherry blossom season. This is one of the most popular seasons in Japan because this is early spring when the cherry blossoms are just beginning to open up, and there are just picturesque scenes all over Japan. So it is just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scenery that we'll get to experience. All right, how you guys feeling so far? Does it sound like something that your teens, it looks like we have some, let's see. Okay, it should be 14, 12 and 14, 14 and 9, 14 and 7. Okay, great. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So this is the perfect age. Perfect, perfect age. Uh-oh, did I move? Yes. Okay. Sorry, guys. I got lost. All right. So let's talk about the Mocha travel difference. What sets us apart? I already told you a little bit about the families that travel with us, what they're looking for. So we pretty much provide a service that is very unique to Mocha Travel. So you don't plan anything. You don't plan this trip. We handle all the details for you, from your hotel accommodations to transfers to tickets to guided tours. We handle all of those details before you arrive. You don't have to worry about navigating a foreign city on your own. We have a tour guide that is present during the entire trip, as well as a Mocha travel host that is there to ensure the logistical details are managed. If there are any changes that need to occur, whether it's traffic related or anything that may need to happen in real time, someone is there to handle it for you. You're not on the phone trying to figure out where your driver is. We're there. Our Mocha Travel host is there to make sure you get through your days seamlessly and have a great experience. So that you're not managing any of those logistics, and you actually get to enjoy the trip with your family. So I'll take a brief moment and just share with you a little bit, and I'm sure you guys can relate. Prior to Mocha Travel, and even now to this day, I'm the one that plans the travel for my family. So if you're the travel planner in your family, I know you can relate to this. It takes a lot of work to put together a trip and then to actually get your kids to enjoy it. That's like a whole nother level of intensity, right? So in addition to getting your children to enjoy it, it's like you're there trying to enjoy it yourself, but you're the one that planned it and trying to make sure everything goes right. So it's like you do all the work in the front end and you still don't get to enjoy because you're there making sure everyone's having a good time, checking times and openings and directions and instructions on how to get somewhere. Yeah, that's not really the way that I want to spend my vacations anymore. So that is the Mocha Travel difference, and that is exactly what sets us apart and why we have families that come back to us multiple times. Case in point, Whitney, this will be her fourth trip traveling with us. Her and Yvette have gone with us. All right, Whitney, I'm going to try to remember every destination. It's not going to be in order, so bear with me. Whitney has done Costa Rica, Paris, Egypt, and now going to Japan. Did I get that right, Whitney?
Oh, yes.
Ah, yes. Good, good, good. All right. So the Mocha travel difference is what sets us apart and is what keeps our families returning back. So let's talk a little bit about where you stay because that's super important, especially if you're traveling a long way, you want to land someplace soft. That's how I consider it. So on all of our trips, we stay in a premium, centrally located properties. We make sure that they are in neighborhoods that have access to a little bit of everything, dining, activities, and so forth and so on. So for this day, we have the Prince Park Tower, Tokyo, spacious, comfortable rooms next to one of the biggest landmarks in Tokyo. Have consistent quality service. It is a preferred luxury brand, and it is very much accessible to a lot of our activities and ability for you to enjoy your days of leisure. So let's talk a little bit about what's included in your experience. As I mentioned, we fully coordinate the experience for you from arrival to departure. Your core travel components are already handled. So you'll have your hotel, you'll have your entry tickets, your transfers to the activities that we're planning for. There is meals included. You have daily breakfast. We have a welcome dinner. We have a departure dinner. Your travel itinerary, and of course, your Mocha travel host, which is key to ensuring that you have an exceptional experience. We have a lot of other things that are included. I didn't want to pack this slide too much, but just know you will have everything you need for an enjoyable experience with your family. So we do have two package options that you can select from. The first package option is your lands only. The second one is your full package. We offer these two packages so that families can choose what works best for them based on how they like to travel. Some families choose land only, others prefer to include the flights. If depending upon where you're traveling from, or if you have miles that you prefer to use for travel, you do have the flexibility of choosing either of those options. I do want to note that with the full package, we always give our clients the option to upgrade their flights. Our preferred carrier for this flight, excuse me, for this trip is Delta Airlines. It is a direct flight from Atlanta, which we are offering. You will have the option to upgrade. The full package price is based on main cabin, but you do have the option to upgrade into those other premium cabins. And once those options become available after you book, we do offer those to you. All right, so as I promised, let's talk a little bit about how pricing work. You are able to view the full pricing details on the trip page. But I do want to give you a little bit of an example because some families really want to understand what does this look like in real terms, right? So I'll walk you through a very simple example. So for a family, this example is based on a family of three sharing one room. The total for cost for the family for the land only package is $13,347. That breaks down to $4,449 per person. So, one of the things it's important to note is that your pricing depends on the size of your family and how many people are actually going to be in your room. Now, most families don't pay this all at once. You secure your space with a deposit. The deposit is $499. That deposit does increase at about 6 months prior to departure. So now is a good time to get in to lock in that low deposit. And that deposit is per family. It's not per person, it is per family. The remaining balance is spread over time through a structured payment plan that you can see before you check out. So for this example, with the family of three, they're in one room. They have a king with a rollaway bed or two double beds. Their deposit is $499. They're paying $1,427 for 9 monthly installments. That's an example of the way our pricing is structured. It allows families that have multiple children that are sharing a room to have better or lower pricing when they are sharing rooms with their children. The other thing it's important to know that if you are a family of four or more, you are automatically booked in 2 rooms. So if you have 2 children and you have 2 adults, you do have 2 rooms for your family automatically. All right, so this gives you your clear picture of what this looks like in real terms. And like I said, to view the full pricing, we do have full details on our website. So trips like these, I get it, it is an investment. Some of what we hear over and over again from our families, such as Joanne, raving about the experience. Joanne was one of our guests from Egypt. She said this is the best family experience she's ever had. Mocha Travel took care of all the details. We love to hear that from families. We're very proud of the work we do, but beyond all of that, we really want to make sure that it's not just a good experience in destination. We want to make sure you have a good experience from the moment you um, from the moment we first connect. So whether we're just meeting on this call up until all the way through your travel, we want to make sure that your experience is seamless. So it's not just about the trip for us, it's about the full journey from the moment we first connect, whether that's through email, phone, or on an info session like this. We are very intentional about the service we provide. So a little bit about what to expect after you book. So it's pretty straightforward. Once you secure your space with a deposit, you'll go over there is a payment installment. You can opt for the payment installment, or you can opt to pay in full. Keep in mind, our payment installments have no additional fees. That is one of the main ways that we reduce the obstacles for our families to be able to travel the globe is removing any additional fees. So there's no fees for those installment plans. We guide you through the whole process from beginning to end. You're never alone when you book with Mocha Travel. We're always here for you to support you before, during, and after your trip. We'll keep you connected through emails, letting you know what's next, what to expect next, et cetera, et cetera. And you'll have us as your companion all the way throughout the trip. So here's exactly what you need to do to secure your space. I mentioned some of this already, but just a nice recap. You can use this QR code here, and I can also put the booking link in the chat if you are ready to proceed tonight. You can select your package. Remember, I said there are 2 packages. There is a land-only package, which has all the on-the-ground amenities and tickets and that whole experience. And then is your full package that includes your round-trip flights from Atlanta. So once you select your package, you secure your space with your deposit, $99 tonight and tomorrow night, and if you're ready to book, and then you automatically get your confirmation. So it's pretty straightforward, no loops you have to jump through. All the pricing is there and available on the trip page. So I will take a moment to pause, see if there's any questions in the room. Are you guys still there? Yeah, give me a yeah, thumbs up. I'm still here and I'm still wanting more. Yeah. Okay, great. I got a yeah. Thank you, Jaminique. Thank you. Yes. All right, Whitney. Great, great, great. Good to know. All right, so that's how you secure your space. Pretty straightforward. So we're going to wrap up here because, again, I do want to honor your time. It's a Sunday. I appreciate you joining. Here's a quick recap of what you need to know about this trip. This is fully hosted, it's structured for and designed for families who don't want to manage the travel on their own. Want the stress-free route, want to be able to have a great experience with their family and not have to deal with all the logistics of it. So we do have flexible booking options. Remember, you can pay in full or you can take advantage of our free installment plans. No credit checks, none of that stuff. You also have the option to book lands only or book it with your flights. So everything, the pricing and payment structure is pretty much laid out on our trip page. It's very clear. When you go to the order form, you select the number of family members that you are traveling with, and it'll give you your price, your total price right there. So that pretty much is a recap. I do have some comments, some questions that we tend to get here at Mocha Travel. I love to share some of that with you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second. Let me move this along. All right, guys, and that's going to allow me to turn my camera back on. Okay, here we go. All right, guys, let's see, let's see. So we tend to get a few questions, and I want to take this time to make sure we answer those questions. Some of the ones that tend to come up most frequently. Give me one moment. Let me grab this file. Okay. So some of the questions that we tend to get would ask about whether or not flights are included. I answered that already, but just to repeat, if you do want flights from the US, the group flights are from Atlanta, and it is a direct flight. It is on Delta Airlines, and you will select the full package option. If you do want to include flights. Otherwise, you would select the land only option. um, the other question that we get is how do the payments work? It's pretty straightforward again. There's a deposit you pay. You pay one deposit per family, not per person. And then you can select the option to pay over time for the free installments. What happens if you need to cancel? So it's super important that you get travel insurance. That is highly recommended. You'll be reminded multiple times after you book with us. You'll get emails to remind you to book travel insurance. We do have a list of recommended travel insurance providers. But of course, you're welcome to use any of your own travel insurance providers. In the event you need to cancel or anything happens during travel, you want to protect your investment with travel insurance. So please make sure when you book, and I hope you guys are ready to book tonight or within the next 48 hours to take advantage of that offer. You do have those reminders to book your travel insurance. How large is the group is another question that we tend to get. We've had groups typically from as small as 6 and as large as 32. For this particular trip, we're at 20, I think it's 22, 24. So about 5 families is what we're expecting to have for this group. Um, And those five families, they usually have different age ranges, not age ranges, of different number of guests. So we offer packages for families of two all the way up to families of six. So just to give you an idea, we are intentionally inviting guests with preteens and teens. Of course, we may get some younger travelers and we want them to join us as well. So if you do have a younger son or daughter, they are more than welcome to come on this trip. One of the other things that we love to have invite is the grandparents. All of our trips are open to multi-generational travel. So if you have a grandparent or grandparents that desire to travel to Tokyo, this is a great opportunity. We find that the itineraries that we curate for families works just as well for our older travelers. So this is a great trip for that age range as well. That's most of our frequently asked questions. If there are any questions in the group, feel free to pop them in the chat, or you can come off mute. And I'm actually going to stop recording because I do want to record this. In the event you might want to invite someone and you want them to see this recording will be made available for you to watch later on, share it with a loved one, share it with a family member that they may be interested in joining. So I do want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining me this evening. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. We've got 2 more calls that we're scheduled to do specifically for this trip. The next upcoming call is on, I think it's in 1 week. So if you do know someone that may be interested in this trip and want to join that call, please give them our information. Our email address, I'm going to put it in the chat as well as the link to this trip. Oh, you are welcome, Jasmine. Thank you for joining. I'll put our email address there. If you have received, or guys should have been receiving our emails. If not, just make sure you check your email for your promotions or your spam folder from our hello@mocha-travel.com email address. That is how to reach me if you have any questions. And again, thank you for joining. I will close out now. Stop the recording and I'll stay here. I'll be the last one on to answer any questions. Thank you.